Welcome to the Fantasy Football Fools Podcast. My name's Jesse. We're here with Eliseo and Brandon, your hosts. How you guys doing?
I'm the best. That's all. You should add that to my intro.
I don't think that's accurate.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely.
Guys, week one's done. Football.
That was very unexpected. All of that.
Yes.
All of that.
It was a crazy week. We're going to go over it today. We're going to talk all about it. So let's get into it. You guys ready for some injuries?
Oh, son of a... That's going to leave a mark.
All right.
Leave the good one for the end, though. That one's special.
I don't know what the good one is. They're all
bad. There's a lot of good ones on here. That's the thing.
All right. Let's start with Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell, sprained MCL, will probably miss 2 months.
Who's surprised? Nobody.
Hey, 49ers always get hurt.
Yeah.
Always get hurt.
Last year, same thing happened. Raheem Mostert, week 1, he got hurt. That kind of paved the way for Elijah Mitchell to come out of nowhere. So, yeah, 49ers running backs, they always get hurt.
But Mitchell also got hurt last year, right?
Oh, he was banged up, yeah, once he was there, certainly. He's a little undersized, so it's not too surprising. But, yeah, definitely going to be out 2 months, so who's the next man up?
I mean, we'll talk about waivers later, but what do you think, Jeff Wilson?
Yeah.
Or the
Maybe,
rookie?
Yeah, they got
two
couple
rookies,
rookies, one that didn't play. So you never know with the 49ers running backs.
All right, Keenan Allen pulled hamstring. Likely out multiple weeks. Some people think not. Probably, I would say.
I think it's going to be 1 week. They're playing Thursday, so he's
Yeah.
definitely not playing this week. I think they give him that extra break to come back next week. Yeah, you never know. Hamstrings are one of those things. They just kind of
linger, yeah.
You're picking out. I mean, if you have Mike Williams, what do you think? You're doing good?
I mean, it can't be worse.
He was 2 for 10 last week, 2 catches, 10 yards, and that was when Keenan Allen came out in like the first quarter. So, I mean, I don't know. That he's kind of boom or bust.
Yeah. T. Higgins, concussion. He's in protocol. Possible to this week.
Yeah, he might miss a week, but that's it. It's nothing serious, I guess. I mean,
I feel like a lot of people will
Yeah,
be,
not serious. It's a head injury.
It's a head injury, but it's
not
nothing
very
serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
He'll be back.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd, maybe look at him. I don't know. We'll see. Chris Godwin, hamstring. That's what happens when you rush him back,
Surprise,
right?
Chris Godwin.
They rushed him back. What do you, I mean.
No, he's hurt all the time.
Came off of a torn ACL, and they're like, oh, and he looked good. I don't know if you guys watched the game. First pass of the game, and he goes for like 18 yards. Like, oh, man. And then, pulls his hamstring in the second quarter. And it'll probably be a few more weeks. He's probably coming back early anyways. This is probably going to put him on what his timeline should have been.
Yeah, I think they're going to actually rest him now.
Yeah.
Do you have Godwin? Anybody?
I do. I have him on all 4 of my teams, actually.
I avoided him because I've had him the last couple of years, and he's always hurt. And so I'm like, I'm going to just not.
But the thing about it, I have him, and he's like a wide receiver 3 or below on all my teams. So where I got him is good value, where I'm not relying on him right now. So if he comes back healthy, he'll provide great value. Otherwise, who knows?
Mac Jones back. But they're saying it was possible back spasms, and he might be good to go this weekend. Does anyone care? Does anyone have Mac Jones on their team?
No.
I mean, if you're in a super flex, you maybe have him,
Yeah, that's unfortunate if you do. He's just not. You know what? At the beginning, I thought he was gonna take that step up this year, not to be like one of the top 10 or nothing elite, but I thought he was gonna be better, building from last year, and he seems to have gone the opposite way for some reason. He just doesn't look good.
1 week.
I was going to say also, before we even get any deeper, week 1, we're going to overreact to a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And let's not jump to too many conclusions yet.
Mac Jones sucks.
Maybe that one.
Najee Harris, foot. The test came back negative. He should be good to go, but I don't know if they're going to have him at full capacity on a snap
He was
count.
on a podcast today, and he said that he's playing, so I believe him. He's tough, but he'll probably get hurt again with that terrible Pittsburgh offensive line.
Yeah, I have him, unfortunately. But we'll see what happens. Again, week 1, don't go too crazy.
Najee Harris sucks.
And the one that you wanted to save for last.
This is my favorite. Only because of... Okay, go ahead.
Dak Prescott, fractured thumb. And it's going to be, I don't know. Jerry Jones says possibly 4 weeks, but everybody else says 8 to 10.
So they didn't put him on the injured reserve, which is a requirement to stay out 4 weeks. So, if they're not putting him on that, I think he's coming back earlier than we expect.
Just like Rusted. That's going to go real well.
Listen, I the only reason why this is my favorite is I mean that's just it's Dallas, you know, and that sucks. And I don't mean any harm to Dak Prescott. He's actually like a decent quarterback, I guess, or whatever. But it sucks because he just had that huge injury, and now it's like every year, you know, the Cowboys are like, "This is our year," and then it's not, and it's just funny to me. It's unfortunate.
Well, it's like our team. Every year the Raiders are like, "This is our year." It's not. That's 31
like,
teams.
No, but like the Cowboys for the last like I don't know 5 years or so, right? They're supposed to be like contenders, and they never are, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And it's funny because where did you rank them on your quarterback list? Didn't you have him pretty high up there?
On Dak? No, I didn't have him that high on quarterback.
No, just the Cowboy team in general.
Yes.
Well, how's that looking now?
I mean, we'll see. They still have a very easy schedule. I mean, they don't have a quarterback. I get it. Yeah, obviously that's gonna be a huge hit on.
I mean,
on
but
them.
like, okay, listen. How well was he doing before he got hurt?
Yeah, they didn't look good, but a lot of teams didn't look good.
I mean, yeah,
Again, so a lot of people are going crazy about CeeDee Lamb right now. I say just wait.
Remember
wait
what I
see.
said about him also?
The thing is, whoever they bring in, or I don't even know who's the backup.
Cooper Rush.
Yeah. So I mean, like he played one game last year, I think, and he did okay. But I mean, is it going to be Dak quality? No, it's not. So,
remember when I told you that CeeDee Lamb has yet to proven that he could be a wide receiver one, and now without a quarterback, and he didn't prove it in game one again over reactions.
So, yeah,
I'm
I
just
want to
saying,
touch on this too. I think the other thing is that in the preseason, you see a lot of these teams rest their starters; they don't even play. And so you're seeing the rust in week one. A lot of teams are coming out and like, this is literally their preseason. And so there's a lot of teams, and we'll get to them later, that just look terrible and players that look terrible. And I think it takes some time to kind of gel. And so I think, yeah, CeeDee Lamb, again, he's going to have a bad quarterback now. But again, I wouldn't cross him off on week one. When Dak comes back in the next few weeks, I think they'll be kind of firing on all cylinders again.
How's the running game?
I don't know. I got Zeke. We'll see.
Didn't he have like 2 points?
Zeke?
Or 4 points?
No,
Yeah.
he had more than that.
I don't think
Zeke
so.
actually looked okay.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. And Pollard got some work too, but Zeke got
had
fed more.
10 carries for 52 yards. Yeah, I mean, 5 yards a
5
carry
points.
is outstanding. They just got down, had to start throwing the ball.
I mean,
so the game script got away from
There was a
them.
lot of running backs that did not do well this week, and we'll go over those a little bit later. Anyway,
I just wanted to make fun of you for all the Cowboy picks. That's all. Got to get my jabs in while I can.
hey, go for it. Go for it. Week one. Get him in week one.
Don't worry. Week
see.
2 is going to continue.
All right. Well, that was injuries. So check out the waiver wire. We'll be talking about that a little bit. But we're going to talk about the top fantasy
tops.
tops.
All the top
players. This week,
Not on the bottom.
they are on the top. And we're going to start with quarterback Patrick Mahomes. 30 for 39, 360 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and only 3 rushes for 5 yards.
He didn't need to.
Yeah, he came out absolutely dominated. I think part of it is all off season we were kind of anointing Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, like these are the guys, right? And Mahomes is like, I'm still here. I'm still probably the best. Josh Allen, I didn't even mention Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And I think he's like, hey, I'm still here. He kind of made a statement. But Arizona sucks. I'm really down on them this year, and they just absolutely dominated. But yeah, Mahomes was like, don't forget about me in that first game.
I'm excited for next week when they play the Chargers. That's going to be great.
And I'm excited for the Raiders playing Arizona because that Arizona defense does not look good at all.
And you didn't even need to wait very long for that game. That game's on Thursday night. Chiefs,
Chargers,
Thursday
Chiefs,
night.
Thursday,
Going to be
yeah.
a great one.
Yep. Carson Wentz was the number 2 quarterback of the week.
I feel like...
wait, hold on. 27 for 41 attempts, 313 yards, 4 TDs, 2 interceptions.
Somewhere out there's a Carson Wentz fan that's really excited and is like, this is it. We're going to do this. Or a Washington fan. And I don't think that's going to be the case.
No, played Jacksonville. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've seen Carson Wentz. Like, we know what he does, right? There was a year in Philadelphia he was almost the MVP, but I've seen him too much. Last year in Indy, plenty of weapons, great offensive line, and he was dog shit. So I'm out on Carson Wentz. So
yeah, I think if you're streaming quarterbacks, it could be a good play. I mean, they have Curtis Samuel, they have McLaurin, they have some good players over there, but only if you're streaming. You know, I don't think it's going to be consistent. I agree. Josh Allen, number 3 quarterback, 26 for 31, 297, 3 TDs, 2 interceptions, 10 rushes, 57 yards, another touchdown. He dominated before Mahomes and Wentz, beat him on points, at least in standard format. But
And you know what? He actually he started off kind of with a rough game. Like, he got sacked a couple times and was like being rushed. And it was a close game in the first half. And then they just got it together and just turned it around. They just dominated after that.
Yeah, and those 2 interceptions weren't his fault either. There was one he threw right into a guy's hands, and the guy literally just took it from him like he was stealing something from him. But he's one of those guys, you just never count him out. He can literally do everything. He's an exciting guy to have. Again, just picking up where he left off last year.
And he's definitely, like we talked about before, where he's like, he wants it. And he's like, he was so close to it and he couldn't get there. So he's coming out with it's like that dude from Billy Madison who had a list on his board of everybody who treated him bad, and he was after them,
Right.
That's what he's doing. He's going after people and he's just scratching them off his wall.
wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, 9 for 11, 184 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Who do they play again?
Played the Eagles.
Oh,
No. Sorry, they played the Eagles this week. They played the Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah, the Packers. I was gonna say, well, I knew he was gonna be good, but that was incredibly good.
Yeah, he came out.
And so now I'm just wondering, can you hold those numbers up against other people? Because it's Green Bay. Green Bay's not in a good spot.
So there was, I don't know how much of the game you guys saw, but I was watching a lot of it, and on the passes that he caught, there was literally no defender on the screen. It's just, he's arguably the best receiver in football. How do you leave him that open? He's unbelievable. I think he's going to have a monster year. This was just the start of, I think, what's going to come the rest of the season. He was incredible.
What are they? I haven't seen the schedule, but what if they go up against Jesse's Cowboys?
Maybe 300 yards.
Yeah. Hey, good news is I have Justin Jefferson, so I'm okay with that. Devontae Adams, 10 for 17, 17 targets, 141 yards, and 1 touchdown.
I love this because people were like, "Oh, he's not going to do as good with Derek Carr," and look at him.
And Derek Carr only threw to him.
Say new place, same result for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
He was outstanding. Yeah, Carr was locking in on him. One of their one touchdown that he got, again, he threw him 2 or 3 passes right before that as well. He's going to eat up a ton of targets. Going to be high volume. He looked great.
If you got Waller or Renfro, are you a little scared right now?
No, because I
What
think
were you expecting?
Yeah,
I think bring over the best receiver in the league. He's going to take targets.
Yeah, and eventually when they do start double teaming him or whatever, it's going to open up the other guys. So I think those other guys are going to have.
I don't know if you can double
boom
team.
weeks.
I mean,
That's the
really,
thing,
really.
But they're
what
going
it
to
is,
try.
yeah.
But they're going to try. So that he's going to start getting attention, which is going to open up everybody else.
But even in Green Bay, there was nobody else around him. So you probably tried to double team him. There's nobody.
Yeah.
Renfro and Waller are better than anything they had in Green Bay. So good luck trying to defend that offense.
Jamar Chase, 10 for 16, 129 and 1.
Yeah, he could have had another touchdown. I don't know if you saw that. He caught a ball, it was right on the end zone line. They didn't review it. They ran up, and it should have been a touchdown.
It should have been a touchdown.
Terrible coaching decision there. But yeah, again, he was incredible. A ton of targets. They kept feeding him the ball. T. Higgins was out with that concussion that we talked about earlier, so maybe a little more targets came at Chase. But again, these receivers are just impossible to guard.
Running back, Saquon Barkley.
That was a big surprise for me.
He's back.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a shocker to me. I was not expecting that at all, but good for him.
18 for 164 and 1 TD. 6 of 7 catches for 30 yards.
So he looks like the old Saquon Barkley. He ripped off a 50 or 60 yard run in that game, and you could just see him get to full speed, something that he never did last season. Last season, again, it's that first year off that ACL. And watching him this week, he looked like a completely different player. He looked like the Saquon the first couple of years when we saw him.
Like you said, he's back.
If I was drafting today, I might think about taking him in the top 3. I mean, he was that good. And the last play of the game too, they're down by 1. They ended up going for 2. And they threw a little shovel pass to him. He made a guy miss, made 2 other guys miss, punched it in for the game winning 2-point conversion. But yeah, he was
beastie. He was beastie.
Night and day from last year.
Jonathan Taylor, 31 for 161, 1 TD, 4 catches, 14 yards.
Just as expected, right?
That's JT, yeah.
He did what you drafted him at number 1 for.
And DeAndre Swift, 15 for 141, and 1 touchdown. 3 for 3 through the air, 31 yards.
This is another guy who I knew he ended the last season really well, like really good. And so people were drafting him pretty high. And I wasn't too sure about him. I was like, not him. He's good. I didn't know if I could trust his team. I was like, oh, the Lions, the Lions. So I wasn't sure about him. But, hey, he came out and did his job.
So he had a nice day, the stats that you just mentioned. And he actually, Jamal Williams came in and poached 2 touchdowns from him from the 1 yard line. So, I mean, he had a great day and he could add an even bigger day.
That Detroit team, man, I don't know what's going on, but they're looking pretty.
They put up points. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they can't get any worse from last year. There was only
gave
one
up
way
a lot
to
of
go.
points, but they scored a lot of points to stay in the game too.
Tight ends: Travis Kelce, 8 for 9, 121, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah,
I mean that's Kelce.
That's
what you expected.
thought.
And I think the ball went to like 9 different people also.
Oh, yeah, he passed it around.
Yeah, it was all, and then all 3 running backs I think were involved. I mean, that's just a complete offense that's working over there.
Backup tight end had a touchdown reception.
Yeah.
They just spread it around. They did whatever they wanted.
O.J. Howard, two receptions on 2 looks, 38 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, not sustainable, but yeah.
People are going to be flighted to pick him up watching. It's like they don't understand. He had 2 targets.
Yeah, absolutely. Not interested.
And then this one's interesting. So Taysom Hill is technically a tight end. He's not a quarterback. So he's 1 for 1 for 2 yards in the air, but 4 rushes for 81 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Like, okay, so now he's a tight end instead of a backup quarterback. It's like it doesn't matter where they put him. Like he's going to continue to do what he does.
But if he does that, do you pick him up at tight end and put him in your tight end spot?
So that's the thing. He probably has value there. I hate it just for the semantics of it because he's not a tight end, right? Like he's getting all his points, taking the snap from the
He's
center.
like a running back trying to be a tight end.
He's taking the direct snap. It's not like they're throwing the ball. I don't know. I hate it. But again, I think there's going to be some of these games. People are going to pick him up, but he's going to have a ton of duds also.
Yeah.
And here on Fantasy Fools, we don't just stop there. We're going to talk about kickers. That's right, because kickers matter, okay? Kickers make the difference. Didn't you notice that this week when all those field goals were missed? And if in your league you have negative points for field goals, oh, man, it's got to be some rough stuff going on out there. Number 1 of the week, Young Hoku, 4 field goals, 2 extra points, and he had 19 fantasy points in a standard league. At least with I think we have standard in kicker. I don't know.
This reminds me of the Raiders when they were really bad, but they had Janikowski. And so it was just there was some games where it was just field goals. They would kick 4 or 5 field goals, and he was the only one with any points. And that's what this week looked like, except for all the misses in that Pittsburgh game.
By the way, before we get to the number 2 kicker here, what do you think about the Denver kick? Hey, we have 3 timeouts. We have plenty of time. We're just going to run the clock down, and we're going to kick a 64-yard field goal. Let me tell you something. He has missed every field goal over 62 yards. He's 0 for 5 or 0 for 6. So, hey, let's just try it again. Why not?
Let's go out and get Russell Wilson to help us get to the playoffs on the Super Bowl, but let's kick a 60-yard field goal.
Not only get Russell Wilson, let's sign him to a $250 million extension and then take the ball out of his hands. What are we doing? Nathaniel Hackett, come on.
Number 2 kicker, Cade York.
I'll give you guys $1 if you can tell me what team he plays for.
No.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
That was a bit late.
I don't know.
I have no idea. I wrote these notes. I still didn't even look what team he played for.
He kicks for the Browns. He's a rookie, and he's got a monster leg. They drafted him in the 4th round, which is actually really high for a kicker. But yeah, he came out and produced. And again, they played Carolina, but it's part of a Cleveland offense led by Jacoby Brissett. Not something you can really count on moving.
I mean,
forward.
he got you 16
big
fantasy
leg,
points.
big leg, yeah.
I mean, can he kick a 64-yard field goal?
Maybe. I don't know. They should have tried.
I think they're going to try at some point in the season. They're going to try because why not? It's the Browns.
You have those coaches that want to go for it on 4th down every time, and you have the ones that are like, let's punt, or let's punt for the tie, or let's do a 70-yard field goal. Ryan Suckup, 4 field goals, 1 extra point, 15 fantasy points. He was number 3. Defense, Pittsburgh led the way, 7 sacks, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery, 1 touchdown, 1 blocked kick, and 2 4th down stops.
They made Burrow look awful.
They did. They turned the ball. Burrow turned the ball over 5 times, right? 4 interceptions.
I thought it was Tony
fumble.
Romo out there, honestly. I was going to say, when did they draft Tony Romo? When did he come back?
And yet, Cincinnati still should have won the game, right? So they had all those turnovers and then still couldn't kind of put them away. They ended up coming back with the win in overtime. But Pittsburgh also lost T.J. Watt, torn pec.
Yes.
So that's a big loss for them. So I wouldn't count on 7 sacks again moving forward without the best sack guy in the league.
Still a great defense, but yeah, that's a huge loss for them. Miami, 2 sacks, 1 interception, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 touchdown, and 1 fourth down stop.
You think they were just showing off because it was against New England?
I was going to say, and 1 broken back, right? They injured Mac Jones.
They did.
Let's add that to the stat line.
Had some headhunters or something going on over there. No, Miami's supposed to be a good defense. I thought so before the season started, and they look pretty decent. Buffalo, 7 sacks, 3 interceptions, and 1 fourth down stop. That's to be expected.
Yeah, I want to touch on that one for 1 second. 7 sacks, and they didn't blitz 1 time in the game. So that was with their 4 down rushers, dominated the Rams' offensive line. I mean, if they can do that, that's going to be a tough team to stop in the postseason.
All right, let's get over to the other side, our fantasy face plans.
You blew it!
These guys didn't do quite as well. Quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, 22 for 34, 195 yards, 1 interception, 4 sacks, 1 lost fumble, -1 point, 0 touchdowns.
Relax. That's what he
He
was
did this
saying.
last year. The first game, he blew.
First game, they got blown out by New Orleans last year. Yeah, this is happening again, but
this
no
time without Devontae Adams.
Yeah, we saw what he did in Oakland or Las Vegas. I'm a little worried. The best thing about Aaron Rodgers was his haircut. He doesn't look homeless anymore, but his performance on the field
You mean
played
Nicolas
like he
Cage?
was homeless. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what did it.
Maybe
He
he needs
lost
to
his
go.
hair, lost his power.
He needs to go do some ayahuasca, and next week he'll be good.
He's one guy we've seen it before, right? He's a back-to-back MVP. Like, he's the ultimate don't overreact in week 1.
But I think there's
There's a couple more don't overreacts coming up right here. Matthew
Yeah.
Stafford, 29 for 41, 240 yards, 1 touchdown, but 3 interceptions, 7 sacks, and only 2 points.
hangover, man. That Super Bowl hangover.
And I'm worried about that offensive line. They just got eaten alive.
Yep.
They get a bounce-back game this week, I think, against Atlanta, so we'll see. Again, week 1, they played the best team in the league, arguably, so
They should be
hard
much
to
better.
really judge after that.
Should be much better. And then your favorite, your boy, you're talking about my boy's Dak, which he's not my boy. This is definitely your boy. Tom Brady, 18 for 27, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 2 sacks. Not bad, but 10 points, which is not what you expected when you drafted Brady, right?
Look, probably not. However, and I usually draft him. That's why Jesse was making that joke. But I stayed away from him this year because I was like,
Oh, this is
"Nah."
finally the year.
No. I don't know about that.
This is the
I
cliff year.
I just didn't trust him. I'm like, I don't think he's gonna be as good as he was the
Stayed
last
away
couple
from
of
him,
years.
stay away from Godwin.
Yeah.
And both of those guys are on my team somehow, so I don't know what that says. But
But Brady, it was like I stayed away from him just because I was like, I don't think I could trust him because usually he was a really good deal like towards the end of the the bottom of the draft and you could take him and then he was like a top 5 quarterback. So but this year I'm like, you know what? It's a different feeling. I don't know. He's got all this other stuff going on. So it just seemed like a weird time and I was like, that seems like a sign. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna stay away from him. And again, overreactions week 1. I do think he's gonna bounce back. I don't think he's gonna be the quarterback he was last season, but he's still going to be good enough. But it's just he's definitely taking a step down, I think.
So as a Tom Brady owner, yeah, I'm a little worried. He didn't look great. That offensive line is what worries me the most because he's obviously not mobile, and so he's not going to be moving around too much. Got pressured a ton. A little worried. So you think he's going to bounce back, but it's not going to be this week. They're playing New Orleans, who owns Tom Brady. They're 4-0 against him since he's moved over to the Bucs.
Yeah, probably not.
By the way, we forgot to mention Aaron Rodgers is playing Chicago, and he owns them as well.
That's
so.
right. And he'll let you know it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's going to be funny is if he doesn't, and then they let him know. That's going to be great. I kind of hope that happens
It's
now.
a Sunday night
Just
football,
thinking about
man.
it. Yeah.
Wide receivers, DK Metcalf.
One more thing about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's like every time anybody is like, oh, I don't know about this guy, he comes back and he like proves everybody wrong. So it's like the reason why I was saying is like, oh no, he'll be back, he'll be fine, is because until proven otherwise, I'm pretty sure we can just say, oh, he's probably going to just keep doing it until he proves that he can't.
He's still the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf, 7 catches, 36 yards, 1 lost fumble, 2 points. I mean, we knew this could be possible with the new quarterback, but if you drafted him, this is not what you were looking for, obviously.
I was surprised when he was going so high in the draft. Like, I was like, probably not.
Yeah, he's catching passes from Geno Smith. You're not super excited about that. They won the game last night, and he still only did this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd be a little worried.
So somebody had to have done something. So Tyler Lockett, right? Nope. 3 catches, 28 yards, 2 points.
Yeah, same boat. It's like, oh, man.
Both of their tight ends, I think, had like 10 or 12 points each. And I think they have more than 2 tight ends. I think 3 or 4 were involved, but 2 of them had double-digit points for the week.
And the thing about Lockett is he's always been really inconsistent, right? He'll get you like 30 points one week, and then he'll be worth 3 and 2 and 1, and then 30 again. And that was with, Russell Wilson at quarterback. So now you're going to get an inconsistent quarterback and an inconsistent receiver. It just sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Mike Williams, 2 catches, 10 yards, 1 point. That's after Keenan. We talked about that.
That was the point. We talked about this earlier. Yeah, Keenan Allen left early in the game. Mike Williams, you expect him to step up. 2 catches, 10 yards. That's worrisome. Herbert spread the ball around. Williams, you would think, is the guy, but he wasn't. So, but that's what we saw last year, too, the inconsistencies, the spike weeks, similar to Lockett.
Amari Cooper, 3 catches, 17 yards.
I told you. I said he's going to go to Cleveland, where he's supposed to be the number 1. He's proven he can't be the number 1, and now he lost his quarterback. Or, he doesn't have a quarterback. It's like this is exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold out judgment until Deshaun Watson gets back there because Brissett's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: there has to be a reason why you keep going to new teams, and it could be money, but it could be other things as well. So you never know. Running back Alvin Kamara, 30 yards and 3 through the air for 7 yards, only 3 points.
Yeah,
only three catches too.
Jameis
7
doesn't
targets.
like to. He's not gonna chuck it down. He's not gonna. Check it down. He's gonna go for the big plays.
And part of that too, we touched on Taysom Hill earlier, kind of taking some of those carries, taking the end zone work. So a little worrisome. They have good weapons in New Orleans, though. I like their receivers. They kind of produced this week. I would expect to get more out of Kamara moving forward. Not super worried on him quite yet.
Yeah, Michael Thomas came.
He
He came back strong.
He came
I was
back
like,
real good. He said, "Hey guys,
hey,
I'm
he's
back."
playing. Oh, he's playing.
Brees Hall, 23 yards and 38 yards through the air, 1 lost fumble, 3 fantasy points.
Yeah, he a lot of hype coming into him as the best rookie running back this year. The Jets obviously took him in the first round, but Michael Carter is still the starter there. He did some good work last year. He was pretty solid, and for now, Carter is getting the bulk of the carries. I think you'll slowly start to see Brees Hall kind of take over more and more as the season goes along. But Michael Carter did look very good in his action in week 1.
David Montgomery, 17 carries. That's quite a few for 26 yards and 24 yards receiving, 4 points. But I mean, it was the
20. How many carries?
It was the buckets of water game. It was like the water. It was like a pipe burst. All the pipes burst. I said 17 carries, 26 yards, and 24 yards through the air.
I thought for a second, he had more carries than yards.
Almost.
Yeah.
Close.
But I mean, did you see that game? It was just pure water on the field. I mean, it was like they're playing in a pool.
Game was tough. It's also the Bears. Yeah, their offense isn't very good.
Like this guy. Okay, the thing with Montgomery is that every year he's like, oh my God, he's gonna be so good because he's the only back and he's the starter and he's the goal line guy. He's like the workhorse there, and that's fine. But if your line isn't any good, you're not going to do anything. You can get 100 tries and you're going to score 1 time.
Well, and that's the thing. He gets the opportunities. He's consistent. He's not gonna give you.
He's not. I mean, he's consistent in not getting touchdowns. He gets the ball. The team is consistent in being like, here, score, and then he can't.
I mean, he's going to get you like 10 to 15 fantasy points. He's not going to get you 30 points in a week, and I think he's one of those backs.
And yet they still beat the 49ers.
And he didn't get hurt like Elijah Mitchell, so I guess that's a plus.
Crazy week 1. Crazy week 1.
Absolutely.
Tight ends, Kyle Pitts, 2 catches, 19 yards, 1 fantasy point. Oof.
Yeah, not what you want to see. He's probably the third drafted tight end in your league. You're certainly expecting more. I think you're going to get more. I would say be patient with that one.
You know who is not the third, but was probably the second? Mark Andrews, 5 for 52 yards.
I think he'll be all right. It was just, like week 1 rust.
Yeah,
I
they
think he'll
didn't.
be all right.
They didn't throw the ball a ton. I wrote down 25% target share, so he's catching 1 out of every 4 passes from Lamar. And he ran 94% of routes run. He ran, so 94% of the pass plays he was out running the routes. I think it was just not his week, but he'll certainly have his weeks moving forward.
And we talked about it before. Taysom Hill, he had 4 rushes for 81 yards and a touchdown. Possible pickup, maybe. I don't know. It's one of those things where
it depends how your week 1 went.
Yeah, it depends on how deep. I mean, I'm in a couple, leagues, but we're in an 8-man league, and in an 8-man league, you're probably not going to pick up Taysom Hill. But if you're in a 12 or a 14, I mean, I can see that for sure.
And I can't justify playing him at tight end, so he's not going to be on any of my teams.
Yeah. All right, waiver wire pickups. Here we go. Let's talk about some guys that we liked, some guys that are probably on your radar or someone in your league's radar. And that's, of course, Carson Wentz at quarterback.
Negative, Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
He could be deeper leagues. You talked about it, super flex, something like that. If he has the right matchup, I think that's the key, right? He played Jacksonville. That was a playable game. If you find him against some of the right teams, you could probably squeeze him in there. But as far as a 10 or 12 team, 1 quarterback league, leaving him on the waiver wire.
Matt Ryan, Indianapolis.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. You know what? He was looking really bad at the beginning of the game, and then they kind of had a little comeback to tie the game. And I'm not sure if they had a chance to win it at the end. I didn't watch the end of that game, so I don't know if like he had control, like if he had the ball, so he could try to do something and then wasn't able to. I'm not sure about that, but I don't know if you guys saw it. But he was doing really bad, and then when they came back to catch up, I'm like, oh, okay, there he is. It was the same kind of thing where it's like I expected a lot more from him, and I think he will be better from now on.
You know who did well is Pittman. So I like that. He's on my team. Running backs, Jeff Wilson Jr. Is he the number 1 now that Elijah's gone?
He was the number 1 when Mitchell went out, but he didn't do a whole lot with it. Part of it's tough, too, because they have other guys that run the ball that aren't running backs, right? Deebo Samuel got a bunch of carries. Trey Lance is going to run the ball a ton. So, yeah, he might lead the team in carries as a running back, but I don't know how many touchdowns he's getting because they do all the extra stuff in the red zone with those other guys. So, yeah, he's probably worth a pickup. Again, San Francisco running backs are valuable, but not sure he's the guy.
You drafted Cam Akers.
Guilty.
Darrell Henderson. Could he be a top pickup this week?
I don't think he's on the waiver wire. I think he's mostly picked like on somebody's team already.
I was going to say, if he's available, absolutely. He's the number 1 pickup. The starting running back on what should be a good offense. And I hold reservations with that after week 1. But, yeah.
Especially after that Akers move.
Yeah, Cam Akers, 3 carries, 0 yards. That's troublesome. I think he was perceived to be the starter by just about everybody, and he didn't play until like the second quarter. When he came in, he wasn't effective. And then McVay had some comments afterwards, too, kind of calling out, I don't know if it's like his work ethic or he needs to make the most of his opportunities. So to me, it just sounds like he's in the doghouse or something, and they're looking to motivate him. I wouldn't be shocked if Akers kind of starts slowly building up more and more carries. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes over this backfield like after their bye week or something like that.
Khalil Herbert, Chicago.
Yeah, so we talked about Montgomery, 17 carries, 26 yards. Herbert came in, and he was pretty effective, too. Again, you don't love the line play there, but it wouldn't shock me if Herbert became the guy. He was effective last year when Montgomery was out.
Jalen Warren from Pittsburgh. If Najee's out, he's the next guy up. I don't think that Najee's going to be out for that long, but, it's worth a look. This episode's coming out on Wednesday, so you guys have already done your waivers, but, I mean, just in case – look up these people. Somebody may have missed something. And so if you're getting up early and getting ahead of the game, then check those guys out. Kenyon Drake, also in Baltimore. He was the guy.
He was the guy. Again, Dobbins is probably coming back at some point. Gus Edwards is coming back at some point. You still have guys like Lamar Jackson who's going to be running. He was the guy in terms of leading them in carries. He had 11 carries of their team total of 21. But, again, 11 carries, 31 yards. So you're not too impressed, and they played the Jets, so that was a game for him to kind of have a big opportunity.
Moving over to wide receivers. So you're out on Godwin. You're out on Tom Brady.
I'm not out on Tom Brady.
Well, you're down on. You're down.
Yeah.
What about Julio Jones?
I mean, if it's a bye week and you need somebody, yeah.
I don't think week 2 is a bye week for anybody.
No, I know, but like I think that this is one of those guys who could have like a good week. Like it's gonna be one of those guys who all of a sudden is like blows up for a ridiculous amount of points, and you're like, wow, Julio Jones hasn't retired.
I mean,
yet.
if
Cool.
Godwin's out, then I think he's a good play.
So I watched a lot of that game, and he looked really good. And they made a lot of comments, too, about, oh, he's in the best shape and all these things. And he actually looked like it. They gave him he ran the ball twice, like a couple reverses, which you never really see Julio do. He caught some balls down the field. He had a 48-yard reception. He looked the part. So, again, they got to fix up some line things to be able to throw the ball around. But, yeah, with Godwin out, I think he's definitely worth an addition.
And Curtis Samuel from the Commanders over there. We talked about Carson Wentz, Curtis Samuel.
I feel like Curtis Samuel is another one of those guys who never really like made it. I mean, he made it, but never really like got to that like level of like, oh, I can trust this guy,
Maybe this is his time.
So, yeah, Samuel was kind of impressive. He got a lot of touches. He caught 8 balls, only 55 yards, but he had 11 targets. He actually led the team in targets, more than Terry McLaurin, more than Jahan Dotson. He also ran the ball 4 times. So they're trying to get him the ball. He had 12 touches. I think you take that, if you're looking for kind of a flex play.
But also, eventually Carson Wentz is going to be Carson Wentz. So, he can only do so much.
Yeah, we're going to see some left-handed interceptions from him coming soon.
Robbie Anderson, Carolina. That's, yeah.
You know what? I was thinking about this one, and I actually kind of like him. Like, who did he have as quarterbacks before? Like, I feel like his quarterbacks.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and like before
Jets
that at
and the Panthers.
Oh, really? It was okay. Well, there you go. I think that he could be a better player in a better situation. And although this isn't the best situation, it is an upgrade from what he had. So I think he could make some waves this year.
Yeah.
Finally. I think he could make the noise people expected him to make years ago.
So I think he was just the guy this week. I think DJ Moore obviously should be the number 1 target there. Christian McCaffrey should be a bigger target too. He only caught 4 balls. He usually catches 8-9 catches a week. He only ran 10 times too. So I think Anderson got the work this week. He caught the long touchdown. I think he had a 75-yard touchdown. But yeah, I think he's kind of maybe the third option in that passing game. That's not going to be too good.
DJ Chark, do.
Now that guy's on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
That guy you can go after if you choose
Detroit,
to.
man, I'm telling you, Detroit's, I mean, they looked good week 1. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, you picking up DJ Shark?
I would say they looked improved. I don't know if good is the right word, but they looked improved. And
compared to a lot of the teams this week, they look pretty good, I think.
Well, yeah, but like they will put some points up on the board because last year they were just really awful. So I think this year will be good for them. I don't know if they'll win a lot of games, but it'll be a much better year for them.
We talked about this. Tyler Boyd, if Higgins is out any further amount of time, he's going to be the number 2 guy.
Yeah, that's a good spot for him, I think, yeah.
And if Joe Burrow isn't sacked, 7 times, and that could be good. Jarvis Landry, New Orleans, you talked about the receivers. He looked pretty good out there. I mean, Michael Thomas is there, obviously. Landry's number 2, but hey.
Yeah, Landry, 7 catches, 114 yards. Here's the thing. With Jameis Winston, he's just a gunslinger. He's going to throw it. It might be to the other team, but he's going to throw it. And they have good weapons, right? We talked about Kamara earlier. We talked about Landry, Michael Thomas. Chris Olave is their first-round rookie. So they have a lot of guys to get it. Landry was the guy this week. But, yeah, I think he's worth, a potential.
That's the kind of guy that Landry is, where it's like he's the guy that is going to burn you when somebody else picks him up and you're like, I don't need this guy. He's not really that good. And then, because it happened to me. And like one week I was like, it was like Sunday night, or actually maybe it was a Monday game. It was like Monday, and I think they were down, or I was up in the league. I was up by like a good 8 or 9 points. And my opponent only had Landry left. And I'm like, I am solid. This guy is going to get like 3 points, 4 points. And no, it was one of those games where I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm getting burned by Landry. And that's the kind of guy he is, where he's just kind of there. And then one week, just out of nowhere, it's going to be like, oh, this guy just burned me. Awesome.
And did you drop him? Did you take out your dirty Landry?
No, he played against me.
Oh, he played against you. Okay. So, yeah.
He just wanted to get that
he-
joke
he
in.
brought-
Yeah, he
yeah.
didn't care what your answer was.
Yeah, I know. I was like, thanks for listening. He was just waiting for me to shut up so he could make a joke.
Basically.
All right, Dallas Cowboys, settle down.
Tight ends, Gerald Everett, Los Angeles Chargers. What do you think? Tight ends, I mean,
I
lot of
think
people
he's a
need
good
some-
he's a good option. I think to pick up.
he's probably going to be the number one pickup. I mean, if he's available in your league. O.J. Howard, we talked about it from Houston. You can go for it if you want. He had 2 opportunities. Yeah, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, but, that's what he's going to give you or not give you.
if you're chasing the points.
Yeah. Taysom Hill, talked about that as well. Will Dissly here we go. Will Dissly and Colby Parkinson from Seattle. They both had good games. It seems like maybe it was just this game plan, this defense they were playing, but they were throwing a lot to the tight ends. Obviously.
So I don't remember if Geno Smith is a tight end chaser.
Well, you don't remember because he hasn't started a game in like 7 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Since he
saying. It
played
was
the
like
Jets, so nobody remembers.
yeah, so it's like
so according to
was it-
this game, yes.
yeah, it's like is that his normal thing? Like, oh, the tight end is where he likes to go.
It could have been just I mean, they were playing Denver. Denver has a good defense, so I mean,
I was gonna say, even if the tight end is his thing, it's just like which tight end. It's also Geno
Yeah.
Smith. Like you're not gonna get consistent production out of either of those guys.
and then defenses, we talked about it. Pittsburgh and Miami were the 2 biggest ones, and they're actually not. I looked on Yahoo, and they're not, rostered very, very much. So Pittsburgh,
Yeah,
Miami.
because it's Pittsburgh and Miami.
Yeah, but both of the defenses look solid.
Well, I would say Pittsburgh, yeah, because they made Burrow look terrible, like we said earlier. But Miami, I still gotta I need a couple more weeks.
I get
don't
that New
trust
England
them.
offense. You can't
Yeah.
really trust them, but I do think Miami is going to have a decent defense.
So here's the thing: if you're streaming defenses, Pittsburgh, they're playing New England this week at home,
There
so
you
that
go.
might be worth a shot. Miami on the road in Baltimore, so you don't like that as much.
Yeah. All right, let's go into some of the matchups coming in week 2.
Real quick, I want to recap week 1.
Yes,
so,
let's do it.
Yeah, we did week 1. We picked our top 3 games. Jesse and Eliseo each had the same picks. Conveniently enough, I went.
I can't believe you
opposite.
copied me, man.
on
That's
all
gonna make me
3.
look bad.
And
Shut
what's
up.
even more surprising is that those 2 idiots went 3-0, and I went 0-3. So
I guess we just know more.
I had the Rams; they got blown out by Buffalo. I had Dallas; they got blown out by Tampa Bay. And the third game was Raiders Chargers. That one could have gone either way. Raiders went for 2 at the end. Had they got the 2, then I cover. They didn't. So
The 2 Raiders fans went against the
went
Raiders.
against- yeah, and it worked out for you
unfortunately,
guys.
but,
So yeah,
you
so
know.
right now you guys are 3-0, and I'm chasing 3 games.
You know what I do like about that Raiders game though is everybody's talking about San Diego and it could be going to the Super Bowl. It's like one of the contenders, one of the heavyweights this year. And what I liked about it is that even though the Raiders played a terrible game, and at the end they still had a chance to win it. Like you said, it could have gone either way. So I'm still pretty psyched about that.
I mean, look, San Diego looked good. I mean, San Diego.
You both just
Doing
said
you.
San-
I'm-
once a podcast, somebody's gonna say San Diego. It's been you both times, and he touched on it there.
The
Well, he
Chargers.
copied everything I do. He copied my
exactly,
3 picks because he
exactly.
knew that I was
Shut
going to get it right.
The Chargers looked good, but I mean the Raiders. Their defense has improved also. So they didn't look great, but they didn't look. I mean that whole division is just. I'm glad Denver lost. Let's just put it that way
was
because
a
I mean
game
that's
they couldn't give up, and they
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
yeah. So
I
it's
think
gonna be
that,
tough.
I think that's the other thing is Denver. I feel like was super hyped, overhyped. And I mentioned about Russ Wilson before. I was like, I don't know, man. This doesn't seem like it's going to be. I mean, they're going to be good, but they're not going to be that good. And I think we just saw a little glimpse of that. Again, week
go,
one
week one
overreactions.
overreaction.
I'm just saying, I think that everybody was almost handing them the division, but maybe not because the Chargers. And everybody forgot all about, like we said, they forgot about Mahomes and the Chiefs, and they showed no, we're still here. And then people were just kind of handing Denver the trophy, oh, here they're going to win the division, and it's I think they're going to end up in 4th place. I really do.
You know, it was great watching Russ in Seattle trying to hear God almost. They got a couple
Taste of your
games.
own medicine.
Well, the funny thing too, after the game, I don't know if you saw the quote from Geno Smith. They said something like, "Everybody wrote me off, and I didn't write him back." That's
Yeah, I saw that.
love that.
That was great. All right, so this week I don't know which 3 we're gonna pick. We'll pick.
Let's do all 4.
Let's do all 4. So we're gonna do
I need to
4
make
here.
up 3 games. The more games we do, the better chance I have.
Start with Thursday. The Thursday game, 8:20 Eastern Time. Chargers at the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 3.5 points. The over and under is 54, in case you wanted to know. But Chiefs by 3.5. That's what we're gonna bet on.
You guys looking at me? Am I going first?
I'll go first. I'll take this one. I hate like in division games, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think they're gonna cover. They're gonna get it done. There, I can't copy you this time because I went first.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think you already read my notes, but okay. Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs also. I think they're going to come out strong again, and I think this is going to be a big test for the Chargers, and I don't think the Chargers are going to be able to – I don't think, just the way that the Chiefs look so good that it's like, everybody forgot about them, and then they came out to remind everybody, and I think they're going to continue to roll this week and take out the Chargers.
I wasn't going to do this. I wasn't sure where I was going to go. This is a great game. Again, we've talked about this time and again. I think I'm going to take the Chargers to make a statement here. I think they at least cover the 3, but I think they're actually going to win outright. But I'm going to take the Chargers to cover the 3.5.
All right, here we
That's
go.
the other thing. It's going to be
2 against 1
close because
again.
if it's a field goal, then it's like, but
It could be, but I feel like if the Chiefs are firing on all cylinders like they were, I think they got it. Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time game. It's a morning game here on the Pacific Coast. Bucks at Saints. The Buccaneers by 3. Over-unders 45.5.
So I talked about this one earlier. The Saints own the Bucks. The Saints are 4-0 against the Bucks since Brady came over. Gosh, these are tough. I am going to take... man, the Saints didn't look good in week 1 against Atlanta. I'm going to take Tampa -3.
same. This is the year that Brady finally gets over that hump because, well, mostly Drew Brees is gone. And, the Saints aren't as good. And that is all. Bucks.
Oof.
I hope
Just
you
to
pick the Saints.
make it fun.
Come
Just to
on.
make it fun, guys.
Do it.
I don't know that they're gonna win, but hopefully they can, lose by a point or something. Maybe they'll win. We'll
I'm
see.
gonna be the only remaining.
I'm gonna go with the Saints.
I'm gonna be the only remaining 100% betting 1,000 after this.
All right, another Sunday game. Cardinals, Raiders. Raiders are favored by 4.5 points. Over under is the biggest for the week, 51.5 points.
Raiders all the way, no question. I think they're not gonna have the challenge that the LA Chargers were, and I think they're gonna win easy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with him on that one. I already wrote it down. I think they're going to cover the 5. Cardinals have a bad defense, I think, this year, and that's going to be their demise. I believe that it could go over the 51.5 points, but the Raiders are going to score a ton of points in this game, I think.
I am going with the Cardinals. I think the Chiefs are significantly better than the Raiders. They got blown out last week. I don't think they're as bad as that game was. And again, I'm not asking them to win. I'm just asking them to cover the 4.5.
And the Monday night game, Vikings at the Eagles. The Eagles by 2 points.
This is a
Over and under is another big one. It's 50.5 points.
This is a good one though. I'm excited about this game also. It's going to be a good game because these seem like they're kind of evenly matched, and you never really know what to expect from these teams.
These are 2 teams I think kind of on their way
on
up,
their
right?
yeah,
They're
they're still
waiting for
riding
them
the
to
yes,
take the next step.
yes, and
so this
so
is a good test.
the thing about it is I feel like the Vikings are a little bit better, and the Eagles are quickly catching up, but I feel like they're still growing. They're still kind of doing their thing. They're so I feel like they're a little bit behind the Vikings. So I'm actually going to take the Vikings because I think they're a step ahead of the Eagles. And not that the Eagles wouldn't be able to win the game, but I think they're just if it was later in the season, it'd be different. But right now at the beginning, I think the Vikings just have a little bit more of an advantage because they're, a more solidified team, I guess. I don't know how to explain it.
I think depending on the game plan, this could go either way. The Eagles and the Vikings both have a great running game, and so if they focus on that quite a bit, then it could get interesting. But the thing is, Vikings, you saw what Justin Jefferson did this week. And they have A.J. Brown, but A.J. Brown didn't do as much. I feel like Jalen Hurts doesn't throw the ball as much, but he can run it. So
No, AJ Brown did good.
AJ Brown had a
Yeah.
monster game.
Yeah,
he
you
did
got
great?
you're thinking of
Oh,
Devontae.
Yeah,
Devontae Smith had nothing.
he didn't
Yeah.
do anything.
AJ
So
Brown
it was
had
it was all
150
AJ, which is
yards.
the same as all Jefferson. So yeah, okay. I still think that Minnesota can pass more, and they will. Oh God, this is tough. I don't know which way I'm gonna go. You know, I'm gonna go. I hate to go with you again, but I'm gonna go with Minnesota.
Yeah, it's going to be a clean sweep. I like Minnesota also. Eagles played Detroit last week, gave up 35 points at Detroit. Minnesota's a better offense. You saw Minnesota shut down Green Bay. I'm all in on Minnesota this year. I love their chances. I said it before the season, they're going to win the NFC North. They already took care of the Packers in week 1. I think it continues this week with another big win.
Well, if you win them all, you still won't be caught up to us. So.
I'll do my best. And also, this is just a quick side note. There's actually 2 Monday night games this week. So
Yes, there is.
Usually there is week 1. They didn't do that this year, but then I think Buffalo, Tennessee is the other.
This is
that one's kind of fun.
this is the 9:30 Eastern time,
Yeah.
so 6:30.
Tennessee's
Great.
not looking good.
No.
No, they're not.
Also, like I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but you guys think the Eagles are gonna win their division?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
that was like one of my favorite bets was Eagles and Vikings on a parlay to each win their division. I think they're the best team,
yeah.
and they weren't, and neither one was the favorite ahead of time. So I kind of like those.
Yeah,
two.
because like Jesse, he said, "Oh yeah, for sure," but like or what was it? A couple weeks ago, he
top
was
5
like,
Dallas.
"Oh, top 5 Dallas, top 5 Dallas."
That's true.
No rebuttal. Yep.
No rebuttal. What about that division that doesn't have any wins? Right? There's 2 losses and the tie.
Couple ties.
Yeah.
That's
Who
rough.
So the Colts and the
AFC South.
yeah.
AFC South.
The
there it is.
Texans and Colts are tied for first with a tie.
with a tie.
All right,
Oh,
let's
that
talk
is-
about our balls to the wall.
I don't know why you did that, but that was like you like hesitated, you paused, and you're like, "Let's talk about." I don't know where I'm going.
Anticipation.
He couldn't remember which button it was.
It was like, where am I going with this?
I didn't know if I wanted to say balls to the wall or just play the drop. Anyway, all right, last week's balls to the wall. Let's go over these. Brandon.
Yeah, I'm going to need to justify mine here. So I said Jalen Tolbert, 7 catches, 104 yards, and a touchdown. He was actually an inactive for the game. But to my credit, Noah Brown was the receiver that came in his place, and he was 5 for 68. He didn't score, but that was kind of the thought process, was the number 2 guy opposite of CD Lamb. So I just had the wrong guy, but he didn't produce
All right,
quite like
all
I
right,
thought.
I'll give you that. I said Robert Tonyan, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. And do you have the stats over there? I don't have the stats.
Yeah, I can pull them up here shortly.
They weren't good.
They weren't that. He
Yeah.
definitely did not do that. Nobody at Green Bay did anything to brag about. I mean, I think AJ Dillon and
yeah.
Aaron Jones were okay, but
Not so much Aaron Jones. It was
Yeah,
mostly
AJ
just
Dillon was
AJ
definitely
Dillon.
better.
they
Sorry,
need to pass the ball more. That's,
You can keep talking. I'll be able to find it here in a second. Sorry.
yeah. So I mean, look, Lazard was out. So as soon as I figured out he was out, I was like, oh my gosh, I got this. It's gonna be Tonyan. Who else is it gonna be, right?
So Tonyan, 3 catches for 36 yards.
Yeah. So
Awful.
I was
That's awful.
not close. And neither were you, because you had Matt Ryan for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yes, I know. And you know what? Again, like I think he had a horrible start, but then he kind of got it together. But it was kind of like too late to save that. But he did get better towards the end.
Yeah, he
So-
wasn't
He
horrible.
did finish 352 yards.
Yeah, he's
But
like,
only 1 touchdown.
but only 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
So,
So you know what? I mean, I think you win that week. You win the week on the balls to the wall. So
get used to it. Get used to it.
But okay, so real quick, I got to touch on something that we talked about last week. We made a big bet about Kyle Rudolph. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I
Top
remember
five
that.
tight
Yes,
end.
we did.
So not only did I pick an inactive player on balls to the wall, Kyle Rudolph was also inactive. He did not play.
yeah, he probably got
So,
hurt.
Our bet, to remind the millions of fans out there listening, was that I think you had him if he was 5th or higher or 4th or higher in targets, right? And so as I look at the box score right now, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys who have already got more targets than Kyle Rudolph. So far, I'm taking the lead there. So that's a good sign.
Hey, I needed to give you a win this week. You know, like, you have to have something.
That's the only reason I'm mentioning it, because I needed to get a win.
All right, let's go over this week's balls to the wall players. Who do you got?
So I can go first. My balls to the wall player this week will be active, barring like food poisoning or something weird happening in the next day.
You never know.
So I'm going to go with a player playing in the big Thursday night Chiefs-Chargers game. My balls to the wall is going to be tight end Gerald Everett.
That's a good one.
So Keenan Allen out with a hamstring. They're going to need to throw the ball. Going to be high scoring. So I'm going to go Gerald Everett. I'm going to go 6 catches, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Nice. All right.
So I think that, I don't know if we mentioned it earlier because you were talking about who would be the number 1 waiver wire ad this week. I think it would be him.
Gerald Everett?
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be a running back, but yeah, for tight end,
tough, but I think he's worth an ad, and especially if he's going to go balls to the wall. Of course he's worth it.
Who do you got? Balls to the wall.
All right. Well, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to run it back. I'm going to go Matt Ryan again. Matt Ryan again. He's going to make it up this time. I'm going to say the exact same thing. 250 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Well, he already beat the 250 yards.
Well, it's a different
is
game.
A bad week for a quarterback.
All right. I'll bump it up. I'll say
350.
I'll say 350.
Let's do it.
No, I say 300. Well, he did what, 280 this week?
He did 350.
Yeah.
No. Let's just keep it at 300. 303 touchdowns. That's
Let's just keep it at what less than he did already.
I do like
I
your
bumped
strategy.
it up.
You just look at who they're playing, and you're like, okay, that's it.
well, yeah, because it's like
Texans
a
last week,
it's a
Jaguars
smash
this
spot,
week.
man. You have
Yeah.
it's like you look at them, and again, that's why
So
last week.
what's your final numbers?
It's 300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Okay, 303.
You want me to give you more?
I
No,
like that.
well,
I like it.
whatever you
That's
think.
balls to the
I'll
wall.
say-
It's your balls to the wall.
I'll say 3 and 4 if you wanna. If you don't believe me that he's gonna go balls
Do
to
a
the wall.
Mahomes,
Good.
a Mahomes 5-y.
The only reason why I don't say more touchdowns, honestly, is because you know that they're gonna run it in. You know, like it's.
I was gonna say you're gonna have Taylor's not gonna do anything if you're
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
So, okay.
No,
Does
but
have
he.
12 touchdowns in the game.
Yeah,
I like
so-
it. Just pick him every week, and like you'll be right once or twice.
Look, I'm not gonna pick him again. I mean, I might, but these 2 weeks are like smash weeks. You know, like it's right there. It's on a platter.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that he didn't do it this
And
last
yet he
week.
tied.
And yeah, I know it was
This
an awful week 1. I think they're gonna work on something, get together. Like it'll be better this week.
Okay.
All right. My balls to the wall this week is Dak.
I
Oh,
knew
no, wait, wait.
that's what you're gonna. I knew.
No,
that.
I'm gonna go
just
with-
any cowboy. Just any cowboy.
Jerry Jones.
I'm going to go with someone who I think is going to play because Godwin's not. Julio Jones. And I think he's going to go for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Didn't
Let's
you
do it.
Did you pick them to win, or was that not a thing? Never mind.
It doesn't matter if they win or not as long as he gets that. All right, that's all we got for you.
But just out of curiosity for myself, like was that one of your picks for the week? The Bucks?
No, I picked New Orleans to win.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
Make it
He
make
could
sense, man.
I mean, what? You could score 50 points and still, have one team more than the other.
All right.
Anyway, that's all we got for you here at the Fantasy Football Fools.
Who's the biggest fool?
Make it make sense.
Mr. Cowboy
3-0,
Jesse,
both
Mr.
of us.
Cowboy Jesse.
3-0, both of us right here. All right, everybody, don't be a fool.
Stay in school. Cowboys, those Cowboys. Super cool.